Jill, thank you so much for being here. So we have a bunch of different data points we're looking at now. Despite the recent weakness in the liquid cryptocurrency, crypto's market cap tripled to $1.5 trillion in 2021. Bitcoin, of course, paring back its dominance during that time. What kind of data points are you looking for that kind of influence your thinking with regard to crypto for the rest of the year into 2022?
Yeah, thanks. So it's great to be looking at and tracking, obviously, what's going on in the liquid crypto markets in terms of price action, in terms of inflows, outflows. The CoinShares data is always very helpful on that. And indeed, last week, we did see a blip, an outflow. This week, it looks like we're seeing strength again. But what I pay more attention to, obviously being on the venture capital side, is what's going on in private markets. And I think that's important depending on your investing time horizon as well, because what's going on in the private markets, investing, capital flowing into these newer companies, these earlier stage companies, that's going to set the stage for what's to come 1 year, 2 years, 3 years out in this industry. And that's looking very strong.
Yeah, according to the New York Times, citing PitchBook data, investors have poured more than $28 billion into global crypto and blockchain startups this year, quadrupling the amount from 2020. So you believe that is perhaps a leading indicator for what's to come in the liquid markets?
I think that's exactly right, because those companies that are having all of that capital poured into them now, again, they're setting the stage for what the industry will look like 1, 2, 3 years out. And so that, I think, is a very bullish indicator. And if you look at the amount of funding that venture capital has raised to pour into this asset class over the next 1 year, 2 years, we've seen multiple multi-billion-dollar funds for the first time. I think that that's very exciting and a big bull indicator. But again, it all depends on your time horizon.
I want to turn to Web3. For those unfamiliar, it's essentially this idea of a decentralized internet, not one controlled by tech platforms. It's often championed by a lot of crypto enthusiasts. And overnight, there was some dialogue between Jack Dorsey and Elon Musk over Web3, something Dorsey calls a centralized entity with a different label that's owned essentially by VCs and their LPs. Musk agrees that it seems more like a, quote, marketing buzzword right now. What's your take on this conversation and the future of Web3?
So look, I think that, we just covered the funding side, and I think that the crypto industry, Web3, sort of, the blockchain space, it's gone by many names over the years, whatever you want to call it. We do have runway on the funding side. What we're running out of is runway in terms of goodwill and patience, both from the general public and also from regulators, to really prove the value and the worth of these assets, of the products that are being built. And we're starting to see the first hints of product market fit, but there's still a lot of skepticism out there. Are NFTs going to stick around? Is Bitcoin actually useful as digital gold? Are stablecoins actually useful for payments? So I think that that's going to be the true test over the next year or so.
All right. Well, we will keep a close eye on it. Jill, thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.